Good evening, Buffs Nation. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. It's been a little bit since I checked in with you guys, but I'm back for another show today. Hit that like, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Anything Colorado college football related, shout out really quick. We got Cam Duncan in here saying the DC for CU may have been leaked. Turns out, from what I've seen, that was just a fake account reporting that we had hired a DC. So no news on that front from what I've seen. And yeah, today I wanted to follow up with a subscriber that recently asked me if I could do a video kind of comparing our defensive line, where it's at right now compared to where it's been. And so I've gone ahead and compiled a little bit of information. This might be a little bit smaller or shorter of a live stream, but hopefully this will give some of y'all added context to see where we have, really improved. Not to spoil anything. I mean, I'm pretty sure that y'all know this, but we've made some massive leaps right now when it comes to the talent acquisition at the edge position, on the edge of the defensive line. And I think we've made some interesting additions. Um, we made some additions on the interior that should help us. But yeah, want to give you guys the data so you guys can kind of see, compare for yourself. But yeah, that Anthony Weaver rumor, everything that I've seen that was fake news, was a fake account, fake 24/7, all of that. So I don't think any of that is legit. But I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and dive in. And let me know if you guys have any questions or thoughts on any of these players. So but yeah, nah, I'm not talking any more about Anthony Weaver, DB. All that was just fake news. All right. So instead of like having us sort through like this whole list, right? Like all these guys I brought in and all this, I went ahead and created like a little chart instead for us to compare players and our new additions with. Let me go ahead and change this color because I screwed it up. But this is how we'll read it. So this is the edge position. We'll get to the interior D line here in a minute. But if they reached the snap threshold to be nationally ranked, to have a ranking, that is here up top in the cell. We then have their name, then what school they played at. Anything that's highlighted here in purple is of course a new addition, so you guys can kind of compare where we're at right now. So row 5, you'll see, is the full if I can talk, Pro Football Focus overall defensive grade. Then you got their grade against the run, their grade against the pass in pass rush, and then their grade in coverage. Here is total snaps, their snaps in run sets, their snaps in pass rush sets. This was coverage. Didn't really care to throw that in there. But then height, weight, all of that. So anyways, probably the first thing that you're noticing, and this is something that we've talked about, our best defensive edge this past year was Jordan Dominic, transfer from Arkansas. He played, better than anybody else that we had, honestly. He was fantastic. I don't have all the stats built out here, but you can kind of see that he was, not only our highest rated overall edge defender, but he did very, very well in both the pass, right here, 69.4, as well as the run. Played over 600 snaps for us, which is just absolutely massive. And BJ Green's the only other guy that we had play over 600 snaps that's on our team from this past year. So Taj Alston is also gone. So you can see, like, hey, not only do we need to replace this production that we got, but we need to get better. Arden Walker was in my opinion, is our best returning edge. Played, I think, pretty well given all the circumstances. Had a very high pass rush grade of 68.3. which is kind of interesting. And then we get here to DV Harris, another one of the returnees. Really struggled in pass, but was good within the with the run as well. So with that being said, let's cover some of the players that we brought in. Of course, BJ Green is awesome. He is going to be an absolute stud for us. Again, almost 700 snaps on the year. He graded out, if not great, to very, very great in all of these different categories. He can do a little bit of everything. He can even kick inside if we need to in pass rushing situations, and so he's going to be he's going to be fantastic for us. Now, the second highest rated guy that we're bringing in is Quincy Wiggins, edge from LSU. Now, yes, he have a really nice grade, but guys, we need to keep expectations tempered with him. Played 16 snaps this year, and if you look at what he did against LSU or for LSU this year, it was like against Army and those types of opponents. So didn't get much from him this year, but hopefully he can become a impactful rotational player for us. But I saw that, someone ranked him as like one of the top 10 transfer edges and didn't have Samuel Okunlowo on there. I thought that was kind of crazy. Anyways, Keaton Wade, another big upgrade for our edge room. And he's really going to help in the run defense as well. Played a ton of snaps, 371 snaps at Pitt or at Kentucky. I think he's going to be great, along with Samuel Okunlowo. Green, Keaton Wade, Samuel Okunlowo. These guys are that you can see they're adding production at really good schools that we didn't have at all this year. They're eclipsing the production that we had from our best player, Jordan Dominic, and they're also bringing in some great size. I mean, even Quincy Wiggins, of course, he didn't have a lot of snaps, but we don't have a guy. We haven't had a guy his size in the room. 6'6", 265. Okay, that is wonderful. We don't have a lot of guys like that. Now, we have also added Nikhil Webb-Walker, who is from New Mexico State. Again, played 312 snaps, so was an impact player for them, but he's coming up a level now. However, we don't have, a lot of body types like this, 6'6", 255. We're bringing in some different guys physically than what we've had in the past. And, I mean, nobody is the size of BJ Green in terms of he's a stocky guy. He's built, and he's big enough to kick inside a little bit if we need to. Not like nose tackle inside, but y'all get what I'm saying. 6'1", 275. That's awesome. Not as short as Elvis Dumerville, but kind of reminds me of him in some ways. But overall, you can see that we've added, well over like 1,200 snaps of experience to this edge room, and at the Power 5 level or Power 4 level, and another 300 from Nikhil Webb-Walker. And hey, I think we can expect a nice jump from Arden Walker. Again, I think he's going to be one of our best rotational players or one of our best edge players this year. And we'll see if somebody like Taj McCoy can make that jump as well. Again, we didn't really get to see what he could do. 11 snaps on the field this year. So right now, that's what our edge room is looking like. Again, take a look at what we're doing, over here. We're bringing in a lot better players than in terms of production than what we had this past year. So, and I like the fact that we're getting new guys with serious size. We have 266, 255 plus guys on here. Wow. That's going to give you some versatility. Now, let's move to the interior. And this is where I still feel like it would be nice, and I do expect us to add another body or two as the year goes on, as we get towards fall camp. I don't think this room is where it needs to be, but we're taking substantial steps. Absolutely. So let's start here. Okay, let's start with the guys that we have returning. Of course, we have Amari McNeil. he was fantastic for us. He was probably our most consistent and well-rounded defensive lineman from a grade standpoint. I mean, you can see that. Played the run and pass pretty much just as well. Shane Cokes, you guys don't like to see this, but did grade out as a good run defender, but lacks in the pass rush. Okay, we're losing Leonard Payne. He's gone, and I think we lost Chad Wallace. I can't remember. And then Bishop Thomas. I mean, we're just gonna have to see. Can similar to like comparing and contrasting. We've been talking a lot about how Cormani today, has really leveled up. He's turned the corner. He's finding himself, right? He's getting comfortable. We need Bishop Thomas to get there as well. And hopefully we see him come back. So, but the guys that we brought in, of course, I think one of our top transfers that we're bringing in is Chidozie Nwankwo. He's going to play on the interior for us starting. Look at just where he is nationally ranked in terms of production compared to everybody else that was on our team this past year. Substantially better than anybody that we've had in the room. Plays the run very, very, very well. Very well. And y'all know, I've been looking back at the Oregon tape today, and we struggled. We struggled in that run defensive category, and he's going to help. Now, Anquan Barnes Jr., he graded out very, very well. But again, guys, take this with a ton of salt, because this man had only 8 total snaps. Okay. So we don't really know kind of what we're getting with Anquan Barnes in terms of a production standpoint. But if you take a look here, he's similar to like Nikhil Webb-Walker and Quincy Wiggins. We're bringing in a new body type at the interior that we currently don't have. 6'5", 314. Wow. Substantially bigger than everybody else that we had in the middle this year. Okay. And so hopefully he can become an impactful rotational player for us. But it's hard to get a gauge on what he can do when, you're only playing 8 snaps. Thankfully, Chidozie, we know what we're getting with him playing substantial snaps this past year. Then we also brought in Tarian Carter. This is a guy that I'm really excited about. I think, coming off of that ACL last year, didn't grade out as well as he did prior to it. I think that, if you look at how he performed the year before his ACL tear, I think he was still outperforming where Omar McNeil is at. If I remember correctly. I can look that up here in just a minute, but he's going to be a guy that can, play a little bit on the outside of the interior, if that makes sense, or he can kind of plug up the middle in that kind of nose tackle position if we need him to. But yeah, he's a guy that I'm hoping takes another jump this year. Again, we don't have a lot of, 300 plus pound guys here. And I think he would be, I'm hoping that he becomes an impactful rotational player for us. I guess right now, with kind of how I'm looking at things, I would probably expect Chidozie Nwankwo and Tarian Carter to start in our interior line, with everybody else being rotational pieces. I would like to find another couple defensive tackles or interior defensive linemen that are a little bit more proven, that have played a little bit more, that have been a little bit more productive. So we're just going to have to see what the transfer portal brings us. But overall, I think we're adding better athletes. We're adding more size. We're adding more length to the defensive line. And especially, again, guys, at the edge position, we are looking great. We are looking great with like a top 4 rotation. Like I said, a BJ Green, Keaton Wade, Samuel Okunloa, and Arden Walker. And then that leaves other guys, the opportunity to come in and make a name for themselves, like Taj McCoy, Quincy Wiggins, Nikhil Webb-Walker, D.V. Harris, like those sorts of guys. So overall, hats off to Coach Prime, Corey Phillips, and the staff. Getting these guys here, to me, it's still mind-blowing. Like, I love the fact that we're bringing in this type of edge talent. defensive talent in general, especially, hey, like we've talked about it, we don't have an official defensive coordinator named yet, and hopefully we get that news soon. But I think I threw in the thumbnail on this. I said, massive upgrade. This is a massive upgrade, guys. We're going to see our defense, I think improve substantially. Now, is it going to be one of the best defenses in the Big 12? I don't know if I'll go that far yet, but I think we're going to be competitive. And we're getting to the point where I don't feel like there's nearly as many glaring weaknesses as we saw this past season. Really, the one question mark that I do have, big question mark, is just where are we going at linebacker outside of Jalen Wester, right? But that's another video. So with that being said, I'll get to your guys' comments here for a little bit. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully this is helpful for some of y'all, but this was kind of fun putting it together. Yes, Kai. Yes, we saw the Boston College head coach is leaving for the NFL. Hey, I think somebody said, hey, does this mean Jim Leonhard might be more at play again? We'll have to see. I love CC. Good to see you. Cormani's putting in the work. Absolutely. Absolutely. What's up, Coach Kev? Let me know your thoughts. As always, Aurelius, good to see you. Peace to you. Cam Duncan saying Wiggins was a player LSU didn't want to have leave because he was going to be a huge factor as a sophomore. As a redshirt sophomore? Yes, that makes sense. Yeah, I know he's would be playing in a loaded position group out there at LSU. So I'm happy to get him here. If Cormani gets his game film study on point, he will be our top defensive player. Man, somebody screenshot that. I just did. Let's hold Coach Kev to it. Man, I would love to see that. Hey, if he's getting school right, if he's getting the weight room right, surely he's starting to get right with the game film as well, right? And guys, I just got to say this. I've gotten some of this all 22 tape for a couple of games, UCLA and Oregon. And I was taking a look at our offense against Oregon. Dude, I mean, this is another video. This is a digression. But Sean Lewis didn't utilize space at all. Mind-blowing. Oregon was playing like a lot of cover 2, cover 3 in some instances, and was just leaving like the quick game just open. And it was just so mind-blowing how all the routes our team was running were like at the shallowest. They were like 10-yard, 15-yard routes. The play design was just, there was so much more we could have done in that game, and made the offensive line look even worse than it could have looked. I thought it was going to look bad, but it looked like really freaking bad. There was like no outlets. I don't understand what the hell they were trying to do. They would line up and they would have the numbers on one side, but then when they snap the ball, they're throwing towards where the numbers are in favor of the coverage. It made no sense. It made absolutely no sense to me. So if you guys want me to I don't know. I'll still probably do like a film room on that at some point, because I think there's a lot of issues that we got to fix that, I'd like to see Shador get better in identifying, as well as Pat Shurmur. I'm fully confident, right? You're not going to, hang these guys out to dry like Sean Lewis did against Oregon. Crazy. Yeah. With Barnes, I mean, he played 8 snaps. So, but man, I would love to see Omar White here. Absolutely. I'm hoping that, hey, whatever he's going through, all that stuff is clear, taken care of, and he would be a massive get. Now, we do have a freshman coming in here. Maybe one of y'all have said it in here, but Brandon Davis Swain, he's a guy that I think could compete and play meaningful snaps as a true freshman with how our D line is kind of looking right now. So he's a guy that could definitely find himself in the rotation this year, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, Cam. I don't have any update on, Omar White. I think he's still going through all that legal stuff. He didn't play football at all this year, and just from what I heard is that right now my expectations are that ship has sailed. But K Vizzy, you could correct me. Omar said he's coming on Instagram Live. That's an update for me. So maybe that ship has just turned around. That would be absolutely huge. So wow. I need to get into that and do a video on that because Omar White would be another guy just like Brandon Davis Swain that could have meaningful snaps as a freshman. Eric Brantley too. Forgot about Eric Brantley. Relius saying top 5 edge rotation in the nation. Man, I love it. It's pretty darn good. It's pretty darn good. And I think Keaton Wade, this is just my kind of, look at it too, but I think Keaton Wade could play a little bit of inside linebacker if we need him to, depending on what the set is. Like if we want to still have BJ Green and Okunloa out there, all those guys. But he played all over the place. He played 275 snaps on the D line, but 52 in the box and 43 at slot. So pretty versatile of a linebacker. And hey, would love to have a guy that has that speed, 6'5", 250, in there next to Jalen Wester. Levante Bentley, depending on, if he's spelling somebody. JP, how can we get a ticket to the game, or do we got to wait? Yeah, I don't think tickets are on sale at all. Probably right now they're going through collecting deposits from season ticket holders for renewals this next year. And you'll probably see single game tickets start to go on sale sometime in May, I think it was. So it's going to be a while, but that's being sold from the CU Buffs official ticket office. Season ticket holders will get their tickets sometime this, from now through the spring. So you'll see them start to populate probably on SeatGeek and some other third-party sites. But definitely don't be splurging yet. Wait until you have, everybody's got their tickets, and that way there's just more availability. I remember last year, around the time that I started my channel, some of the ticket prices were just insane because, the amount of tickets that just had been released yet was small. But it's like, man, you just need to wait a little bit. The price will be, suppressed. Yeah, Oregon beat the hell out of us. That's totally true, CC. And again, what was really frustrating was looking at the offensive play design. It was like we were trying to beat Oregon with a hand tied behind our back. It made absolutely no sense. Prime, my cousin. Love the show. If Shador didn't play quarterback, what position will he play on your team? Hey, honestly, if he didn't play quarterback, I don't know. I don't know if he suits any other position really well. So maybe offensive coordinator. Have him call the plays if he's not going to be running them. Hey, Russ, good to see you. We need to do a show here soon. Omar said he still wants to come. Not sure if if the team is allowing it though. Yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll see. What is this? Hey, Dave, I'm disappointed in you from that show with Rawhide yesterday. You didn't seem like a Buff fan. Don't let Rawhide be persuading you. Guys, I mean, let me know in the chat. Is it because I didn't predict the Buffs to win the national championship next year? Is that what it was? I picked them to win 9 games, which is more than doubling their win total this past year. I mean, I feel like honestly, that's a total Kool-Aid take. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you're looking for from my channel. Like, are you going to get some subjective takes on here? Absolutely. But I can't be saying right now that this team is a national title contender right now. I mean, I'm just, I'm going to ride this emotional wave with y'all, but it's also, my responsibility not to just feed y'all complete bullshit, right? Yeah, I mean, I feel like 9-3 is kind of like a Kool-Aid take, to be honest, because I told you, like, there are some toss-up games, there are some games that we're going to be going into where we're not favored, but I still, I have the Buffs getting it out, squeezing out those wins. But everything is perspective. Like, if y'all are looking for me to provide you a win total to go bet on, there's a lot better people that you should be going to for that. But again, it's all perspective and expectation. Like, that's my prediction. I think predictions should be fun. But an A season for Coach Prime this year is 7 wins plus. That's how I see it. But yeah, I don't. I, I still don't understand like how I can be. How people can say that I'm not a Buff fan. Is it because like I criticize some of the players or some of the coaching or hey man, I mean we won 4 games. It's funny, man, how quickly I feel like we forget that we only won 4 games last year. And I mean the last game that we won was week 4. Weeks 5 through 12. I mean, it was or yeah, whatever it was, whatever. It was just it was all losses, man. It was tough, and there's a lot that we could definitely do better. Um, to put ourselves in position to win more games, like no doubt. But yes, I mean, do we see a Northwestern type turnaround where they go from 2 wins to double digit, or we've seen that with Tulane, right? But that's not how it always happens. Sometimes you just gotta take those steps. We skipped the step of just being a 1-win team again after blowing out the entire roster, which is great. We skipped that first step, but I think it's pretty realistic that, um, or in terms of expectations, if Coach Prime is able to double his win total from this past year, I mean, wow, that's very impressive. And there's only I think Big 12 fans, man, they're going to come to hate some of us pretty quickly because I think most fan bases outside of maybe, Ohio State or Alabama, heck, well, I don't know. Texas is a little, I don't know, but most fan bases would be absolutely thrilled with 9 wins just in general. I think if Oklahoma reaches 9 wins this year, I think the Sooner fan base is going to be very, very happy. The fact that I can predict CU to win 9 games and be called a hater for that, I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, I'm not always the best with all these predictions. Again, like y'all want to say that Rawhide's terrible with these player comps. I was saying it too. Go back and look. I was saying that Javon Antonio was the next freaking Calvin Johnson, right? And I take the feedback that and learning seriously that I've had from this past year. I think one of the biggest criticisms, and rightfully so, of CU content creators was we didn't do any of these guys favor calling, everybody coming in here big time playmakers and really good players. And they already had a big enough spotlight on them. And then when everybody and their mother is saying that they're all ballers, sometimes it just creates way too high and unrealistic of expectations. And one of my goals this year is to, not do that as much. Am I still going to do it? Absolutely. But, that means that I'm going to call things a little bit more like I see it. I'm going to be holding a lot less stock in practice footage this year. It's one of the biggest learnings. But hey, yeah, like I, I'm I'm not just going to be feeding y'all bullshit. You know, just going to give y'all my take. Like that's what I thought the whole thing was funny with that guy that's coming in here from Idaho State. And Herman Smith, right? And this guy's a part-time player, man. Or at Idaho State. I think he'll be a special teams player. And man, I got a lot of flack for that, guys. But I just call it as I see it. Like with what I saw on his highlight tape, I'm not really seeing anything that pops off the tape. But I think he's a welcome addition. We need some more depth in that safety position. We need some guys who are going to do their job on special teams. But that's still a positive thing. But when people hear that, I don't understand how some people get really upset at that. But I'm more than happy to be wrong on any of these guys. I want the Buffs to win football games. So I don't care who's getting interceptions, whether that's Travis Hunter or Herman Smith. I don't care. I just want to see wins. Yeah, Dark Side Dave, man, I'm coming at you. Hey, did you ever address McChesney's comments about the minor violations? No, I haven't. I saw that he put a video out, but I haven't watched it yet. We're just gonna have to see. But man, who knows what's going on with that? But at the end of the day, I think like pretty much everybody's gonna forget that like those things even happened if they happened, right? I don't really doesn't really sound like it's that big of a deal to me. And if it never happened, maybe he never lost access. I don't know. I need to watch the video and see what he has to say. Dave, please don't let the haters get to you. No, it's all good. I just find it funny. I think because again, like CU Buffs Dynasty, I think that's what who commented on. I mean, man, I listen to him. Um, Man, I love CU Buffs Dynasty, man, and he's always been here on this channel. So I'm gonna clap back every now and then, if I disagree. See, exactly. Bus fans, man, it's easy to stay, have things in perspective. Yeah, Matt's saying he wasn't even at the game that they accused him of. Yeah, so I don't even know like where any of this stuff is coming from then. See, there's CU Buffs Dynasty. We can agree to disagree. But, you want to see me as Dark Side Dave, I guess you can do that. All right, y'all. Any more questions like on anything? Or else I'm gonna get going. I'm probably gonna work on a Broncos video for my David Talks Broncos channel. It's been since this weekend since I put something out. So man, by the way, man, Bo Nix looked freaking terrible today at the Senior Bowl. He looked terrible yesterday. And yeah, it's just I'm not surprised. Dan Lanning shows how good of a coach he is, right? As much as I hate to say that, but man, I don't want Bo Nix here in Denver. Ain't no way. Omari and Cooper or Cormani? Cormani, baby. Cormani has a lot better of potential in the run game as well, in run defense, and so that's something that he's got to work on, is getting off of those blocks, improving how he performs in hand game. But yeah, those are things that we covered a little bit earlier. And I think with him putting on size and muscle, he's going to be stronger. It's going to be a lot tougher for those guys to just keep him locked up in the run game. But yeah. That's right. David Talks Donkeys, baby. Comment, like, subscribe. Buffs News Weekly. Williams or Penix for the Broncos? I guess it depends on where you get him at. But hey, what about this? Why trade Patrick Surtain and a bunch of draft capital and all this stuff to go up and get 6'1" Caleb Williams, who's a little sensitive? Kind of worries me if if he's a true leader or not. And instead, why don't you just trade back and with one of those later picks, just get another 6'1" quarterback with just as good arm talent, who is a better leader, who actually has matured throughout his time in college. That is not at all the same person who he was coming into OU, and that's Spencer Rattler. He's my QB4. So I wouldn't mind taking a shot on him. I know he's 6'1", but I think he's got the pocket presence, played behind a terrible line at South Carolina and still had a 77% completion percentage this past year with losing most of his weapons. But yes, that's right. Rattler's my guy. I'm planting my flag, but I'll be happy with Michael Penix as long as it's not at 12. I'll be happy with any of those top three guys, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jane Daniels. Just no Bo Nix. Just no Bo Nix. That's it's easy to satisfy what I want the Broncos to do. Rattler is garbage. Man, you guys are hurting my feelings. All right, y'all. With that being said, Brady B. Sorry, I saw this one. Who do you see getting more playing time, Slusher or Craig? Slusher started him over week 1, but Craig played well the rest of the year. Yes, Cameron Stillman, Craig over Miles Slusher, but I was thinking about this earlier. Who is going to play free safety next to Shiloh with Roderick Ward gone? Again, I don't see Trevor Woods as a starter for this team at safety or at linebacker. And I mean, who knows? I think he should transfer and go somewhere where he can start. At one of those positions. That's just kind of how I see it. But right now, if I had to make like a prediction, I think you would see Cameron Stillman Craig play that more traditional safety position that Rod Ward played. And then it would be between Miles Slusher, Preston Hodge, and Jaden Milner-Jones on, who's playing the slot who's playing that star, depending on if they have 3 or 4 wide receivers out there. So, but I think I'd like to see Cameron Stillman Craig back at free safety. And then depending on what kind of looks we're getting package wise, then we can have Jaden Milner play the slot, their star if we need to. But yeah, so great question. Bo Nix sucks, man. Bo picks. Say no to Bo, man. We can't have that. But Broncos, just go get a quarterback. I don't care who it is. Travis J would be interesting, but we just don't have just seems like he hasn't been healthy. So we'll have to see. But all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys as always. And yeah, be sure to tune in David Talks Broncos if you guys want to trash on my other, quarterback takes. So I'll see y'all again soon. Y'all have a wonderful evening and go Buffs.